Om Tat Sat. My humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to sage Narada and all sages and saints, and to each of you divine soul watching today's satsang. So today we will be covering part 2 of Sutra number 36 of the Narada Bhakti Sutras. Commentaries by my worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, narrated by myself, Swami Nikhilananda. And again, this is part 2, Sutra 36, chapter 2, the glory of supreme devotion. The sutra again, we covered that yesterday, but since this is part 2, we will read it again. It is Avyavrit Bhajanat. Again, Avyavrit Bhajanat, meaning devotion is developed by uninterrupted worship of the Supreme. Uninterrupted means constant and for a long time. So today we are going to cover the 9 developments as bhajana is cultivated. In yesterday's sutra we had covered the 9 aspects of devotion or navda bhakti. So the 9 developments in bhajana are Shraddha. Shraddha is development of faith. That is your foundational quality. So continue to have faith. And when things are going well, it's easy to develop faith. But when you are struggling, when there is adversity, when things are not going your way, then keep that same faith. Trust in God. Have that faith that He who has given you birth is aware of everything and will take care of you. So that is that Shraddha. Satsanga is the second quality. It's called good association with the truth. For example, what we do every morning, that's why I say welcome to today's satsang, because it is the satsanga, and therefore you should always try to maximize your satsanga opportunities, being in the holy presence of sages and saints, reading their scriptures, connecting to God, meditating and thinking good, selfless service. All these are modes of satsanga. So when you are doing satsanga, you progress very quickly. The third one is called Bhajan Kriya. Bhajan Kriya means doing worshipful actions like making a garland, writing God's name with devotion, looking at God's picture, or doing anything that is increasing your devotional feeling. And the fourth one is Anartha Navritti, which means removal of evils or obstacles. So also as part of your sadhana, anything that is obstructing your movement towards spiritual progress should be shunned, should be abolished, should be restricted. And that is what is part of the fourth step. Again, Anartha Nivritti. And so when we pray, whatever prayers are done initially in the Sanatan Dharma philosophy, we first pray to Lord Ganesha. Om Ganeshaya Namah, which means we pray that, oh God Ganesha, because he's the remover of obstacles. So we want him to remove all the obstacles that may come up during our prayers, and that it may go Nirvignam Kurumai Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha, which means that, oh Lord Ganesha, we pray to you to remove all the obstacles and that our prayers may go interruption free. Nirvignam, there should be no obstacle and we should be fully dedicated. So therefore this is the meaning of Anartha Nivritti. And fifth one is Nishtha. Nishtha means firmness. So we have to not be like soda water enthusiasm, like a pop, the Pepsi can that just opens up with a lot of energy but then fizzles away over time. That's not how bhakti is to be done. You should have the same enthusiasm day after day, and with firmness and with regularity. That is called Nishtha. And then the sixth one is called Ruchi. Ruchi means you enjoy it. You enjoy the divine love. It's like eating your favorite dessert, your favorite fruit, your favorite whatever you like the most. And that's what bhakti, that's how you should approach bhakti, with a lot of love, not as a chore that, oh, I have to do my mala now. So, initially your mind will try to play tricks, but if you continue to guide it, then it will convert into ruchi. Ruchi means interest, delight. The sixth one is asakti. Asakti is attachment. So we always tell you remove asakti, but remove asakti from the world. Remove the attachment that takes you to the world, and take that and fix it with God. Get attached, but get attached to God, not with these transient things. Sooner or later, our body will be gone. The things that we had yesterday are meaningless today. For years, people go on with relationships, and one misunderstanding, you go your way, I go mine, and all this stuff the world constantly shows us also. Yet we keep on clinging to the same world instead of relying on the source of all those things that is making this world possible, which is attainment of God. So attach yourself to God. That is the seventh one. Eighth one is called bhava. Bhava means mystic feeling of love through ecstasy. Mystic feeling of love through so you feel as, and musicians who are singing and deep devotional songs, they can feel it, they kind of get connected to God. And similarly, when we are doing anything with so much purity and intense passion, we feel oneness, and that actually is the goal of meditation also, to become the object. When you are meditating upon the object, it is so intense that you become the object. Prema means unfoldment of supreme love. Prem is unconditional, supreme, devotional love. So these are the 9 stages of bhajana, how we pray to God, how we go through the process. So you can see how detailed Sanatan Dharma concepts are, and how much love and compassion there is for each soul who wants to climb on these steps. They have, these sages and saints, they have provided us every conceivable tool, so we don't have to go reinvent it. So the least we can do, therefore, is to follow it with love and dedication, and achieve this glorious state of mukti, or self-realization. So the life of a devotee must become an uninterrupted flow of divine worship. Uninterrupted means constant, just like a flame is constant, the river's flow is constant, etc. Even acts such as eating, sleeping, and walking should be permeated by the feeling of worshipping the divine self. So when we do that, we should feel God's presence in everything that we do. So therefore, spirituality becomes a 24/7 process, not just sitting when you are doing your meditation, although that is a very powerful time also. But feel God as an undercurrent in everything, your work, your sleeping, your eating, talking, walking, etc. So nothing is done by a devotee for the sake of his little self, which means now he is living in God. He lives and acts for the pleasure of the Supreme Beloved alone. This is exactly what the gopis did for Krishna. They could think nothing else but Krishna. They would cook and think of Krishna. They would eat and think of Krishna. And when he would play his flute, they would as if go into ecstasy. So Avyavrita, uninterrupted practice, is also of great importance. This is why Sage Narada is saying that it has to, don't do it one day, then for 3 months nothing, then you pick it up again and you see some satsanga, and then again it fizzles away. That half-hearted effort is not going to produce tangible results. It is still helpful, but it keeps us at a very low grade, or a low to medium grade level. But if you are a sincere devotee and you are aspiring for touching God, then you have to become like God, become pure, become kind, compassionate, and develop all these qualities. And this happens over time. That's why constant effort is required. So Patanjali Maharishi in his Raja Yoga Sutra speaks of the importance of ceaseless practice. Ceaseless, continue. All the sages and saints say the same thing. To do or not to do is up to us. Sometimes we get inspired, sometimes we get dejected, and that depends where our future will go. So when an aspirant practices sadhana, sadhana is spiritual discipline, for a long time with unbroken regularity and increasing faith, his abhyasa or spiritual effort becomes firm and established. Sage Narada is saying is that continue this with unbroken regularity and increasing faith. So then our spiritual effort becomes firm and established. That's the essence. And an aspirant should adopt a particular outline of spiritual sadhana and abide it day by day. So come up with a plan of action as to how your daily rhythm should work, and then according to that rhythm follow your spiritual practices. And again, sages guide us that random and haphazard practice does not produce effective results. Only sustained practice over a long period of time can lead to the heights of mystic attainments. So this is not for the faint of the heart or for only curiosity seekers. They can be curious and they can do a mala once here there, that's okay. But if you really want to be a serious aspirant, then you have to make it your lifestyle. You're changing every dimension. And what will happen though is that your heart will open, you will find bhakti, shakti, and that energy will be so profound that you will radiate happiness inside and out, and that will propel you to do these things. Initially you have to put in the effort, but later the propellant force itself makes you do it much better. So to further, an aspirant should not develop doubts regarding the validity of his spiritual practice. A lot of times when aspirants do not see progress, they get frustrated. They say, am I making progress or not, or maybe this is not working, and they give up. It's very unfortunate that that happens, because everything desirable takes a lot of effort. Although it may not be immediately perceptible, every effort on the spiritual path has its unfailing result. So it is there, but they just don't see the progress, and therefore they are getting frustrated. But it does take a lot of time, just like trying to break the center of gravity, the law of gravity. We need a rocket booster with a lot of power to go beyond that. Similarly, we are definitely being helped. Every name of God is helping us, but we don't see it tangibly immediately. Even a careless repetition of divine name awakens a subtle subconscious spark which will gradually beckon one to the blazing fire of devotion. So it goes in the unconscious, and many things can happen, but we have to start from somewhere. A sustained practice though, if we are regular with increasing faith, and our faith is growing, our understanding is growing, and our continuity is maintained, that can bring about success in a very short time. And that's the beauty of the scriptures. You can reach God fairly quickly, or it can take many lifetimes, depending on your effort and your previous karmas and many complex things. It's like a complex calculus, and many things have to come to play. But when divine grace comes and you start enjoying the journey, start putting in your practice, all those things start to come together. So we will cover this more in Sutra number 37 tomorrow. This is Swami Nikhilananda. Om Tat Sat.